Hey everyone, welcome to our webinar today. We got Rick Folkner today from Innovia Consulting on the line. He'll be showing us how we can modify pages using the Web Designer in Business Central. Now, before I pass it over to Rick, I would like to remind you that this session is being recorded and will be posted to our on-demand library later this week. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the questions box during the presentation and we'll get them all answered at the end. So without any further ado, I'm going to pass it off to Rick to get us started.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to using the Web Designer for Business Central. We'll start off by going through a few topics, and then we'll actually do a little demonstration, show you different things you can do inside the Web Designer. Alrighty, first off, question you may have is, what can you do with the Web Designer? And basically, you can add fields to pages if they're not there. You can move or remove fields. You can change the importance of the field. It's like if you have a collapsible fast tab that say, usually you get the little box that says show more fields, and you usually have fields that always stay shown and some that collapse down, so you can change that if you want certain fields to always stay shown. And you can also exclude stuff from quick entry if you're setting up like a sales order page where you're entering like items and whatnot. Alrighty, and also you can do a little bit of stuff with like actions and cues and other page parts. Mostly you can only move them around and also like totally remove them from the page if you need to. All right, some important things to note. Every time you start designing, you're creating a new extension. So this usually causes, like if you do a bunch of these, it'll actually create an extension for like each one of them. So a lot of people maybe would like do like you can start designing and do like every single like sales, like the sales order, sales quote, sales return, stuff like that, and then stop your design, and those all be included in one extension instead of doing them like individually. And this also, these changes you make are, they apply to all users, so it's not just setting it up for yourself. This will affect like every user in the system. And you can only remove fields that are in the underlying tables, and like actually add fields and stuff. Like everything you do must be on the tables that are underneath. And basically a lot of this stuff is just all drag and drop and everything like that. You can also, some of the stuff you can do individually using personalizations, but like I said, this affects like all users if you're using this. And then next up, you can limit access to this, so not every user can do it. So basically, if you want to allow a user to access this designer, you have to give them the D365 extension management permission set. Or if you have super permissions, then they can also get to it. So that would be something to note as well. All right, so how to access the web designer is when you got the web client open, there is a little gear box up on the right side, and you basically click that and hit design, and it will start up the designer, which sort of looks like this, and it shows your pages. On the left over here, you have things you can do like add fields, or they also have like actions and parts, but those things are typically grayed out. You can't do anything with them. Then on the right side, you have 3 different icons, which sort of show you what view you're working with. So the first icon would be working with like a computer, like a desktop or a laptop. The second icon is for like a notepad like type device. It'll show you a view on how the page would appear on there. And then the last icon is like a phone view. So you could see what would appear on a phone if you're accessing it from there. Okay, so now we can actually jump in and take a look. So you'd start up your web client. You'd go up here to the gear and you click design. And this opens up this little designer, and there's a little button that says more, and you can open that up. Then if you want to go to like a sales order, like this brings up the sales order list. Like if you want to do rearrange a column, usually these little arrows sort of give you a hint on what you can do. You can move the freeze pane over if you want. You can actually move the field or remove the field or exclude it from quick entry. So like if I wanted to move the field, it basically tells you just to drag it over. So I could drag this over here. And it sometimes takes a little while, but it'll actually move it over there. And then if you wanted to add a new field, you can go up here to the plus field, and it'll open a window on the side. The fields that are marked red here are ones that are not currently on the page and that you can add. The ones that are marked as placed are ones that are already there. So say you wanted to add customer posting group to this thing, you could drag these over here, and then it would insert this field into the list page. So once you get like the list page done the way you'd like it, you can also like drill in and actually open up a sales order page. All right, once you get the sales order page, you have the same thing. You notice you'll get these little purple triangles. You can click on them and it'll give you a list of what you can do. If you to set the importance, you have this show under show more, or you have show always, and then you can also exclude it from the quick entry. And again, like if you wanted to move this field, you could simply just like drag it somewhere. and it'll move that around, and then you could again bring in like customer posting group, drag that underneath the status. And you can set up the page the way you like. You can move fields around, remove fields if you need to, get it set up the way you like. Like if you have a fact box or something over here, you can come over here and basically you can either move it or remove it. Them are the only two options you get. And also you can do the same thing with actions. You're sort of limited with what you can do, but say you could either move like the groups around, or if you wanted to move like print confirmation into a different area, say you wanted to put it in the report section, you can move that over here. It automatically sticks it. I think it goes by alphabetical, but I think you can move it within the group, maybe, or no, you can't. It'll basically put it where it wants in the menu, but you can move it to the different groups if you would prefer. And let's see, what else do we want to cover? Other than that, like if you wanted to set up like your sort orders and your quick entry, you can click on fields. Like down here, and you can either, this one's already not in there, but if you wanted to add the description into the quick entry, you could add it in. Or if you would want to like remove location code, you could remove that field or add it to that quick entry. You could do different things with that. But let's see. So basically, you do this. You could move around, do this for each. You can move around to like the different sales orders if you want to set up quotes. You can move to that, which we don't have any in here right now, but you can modify something on this page. And then bring that over. And just go through your different pages that you want to modify. And because all of them will eventually, it'll become an extension once you stop designing. So when you're ready to stop designing, you got all your pages modified, then you come over here to stop designing, you click that, it asks you to name your extension, name it anything you want, like sales orders, mods, or something like that. The publisher basically gives you a name inside the extension, tells you who designed it. Usually we would go with Innovia or something like that. And then you also have a checkbox for download code. What this is used for is, like, say you wanted to design all the pages and stuff in your test environment and try them out and stuff before you actually deploy it to your live environment. You could do everything in test, and then you could hit this download code, and it will actually save, give you the when it creates the extension, it makes a .app file, and then you can use that to actually install it into your production environment. And that way you don't have to go in and like redesign in two different spots like test or live. So you can check that, and then when you got everything done, you can hit save, and it'll actually save your extension. It'll pop up your little thing and ask you to save this, which is, it saves it as a zip file, but it'll contain a .app file inside. So you can do that, and if you look at this file, you can see it's got the source code and everything for it. Okay, so then you can actually go into your extensions, and then you can see this is our mod that we just did. It's listed in the extensions, so you could, if you want, you can uninstall it, or you can also download the source again here if you need to. That's also good for, it gives you the actual .al files for the pages and stuff. So if you wanted to include them in a bigger mod or a bigger extension that you're designing, you can also do that. So I guess that wraps it up for what I was going to show today. So is there any other questions?
There is. We got one question that came through, and that's, is this web designer available on both the on-premise and SaaS version of Business Central?
The answer to that is yes. The on-premise version, you're able to do this in the web client on the on-premise. You have to sort of know a little bit about extensions if you're going to be like installing them from the app file that's created and whatnot. You usually have to go through PowerShell on the on-premise version. The SaaS version, everything works exactly the same. You'll see the same exact little gear up there. You'll have the design mode. Everything works exactly the same. Inside the extension part, you can actually, they have a upload extension. So like if you did it in a sandbox, downloaded the source, then you could upload the app into your production and deploy it from there. So that makes it a little bit easier. Is there any other questions?
There is not, Rick. I think we can go ahead and wrap up, unless if you have any closing thoughts.
That's basically all I was planning to cover, unless there was any questions. Or
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Rick, so much for presenting today. And to everyone who's joining us on today's call or watching us on demand, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you check out our website at innovia.com/events to learn more about all of the upcoming webinars we have going on. And while you're there, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss another event. So on behalf of the entire Innovia team, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you guys again soon on another Innovia webinar. Have a great day, everyone.